Air travel has revolutionized the way we travel and connect with the world. However, the aviation industry has also witnessed some of the most devastating disasters that have left an indelible mark on history. From mechanical failures to human error, these accidents have claimed hundreds of lives and have brought to light the risks and vulnerabilities of air travel. In this video, we explore some of the most mysterious and tragic aviation accidents that have occurred around the world. Number 1. Tenerife Airport Disaster. The day was supposed to be like any other day at Tenerife Airport, a popular holiday destination in the Canary Islands, but March 27, 1977 will forever be remembered as the day of the worst aviation disaster in history. The weather had taken a turn for the worse, with thick fog blanketing the airport. Two large commercial planes were on the tarmac, waiting for the clearance to take off. The first was a Pan American World Airways Boeing 747, Flight 1736, carrying 380 passengers and crew. The second was a KLM Royal Dutch Airlines Boeing 747, Flight 4805, carrying 248 passengers and crew. As the fog worsened, visibility was reduced to just 300 feet. The air traffic control tower was struggling to communicate with the pilots on the ground, and the tension was palpable. The air traffic controllers were doing their best to keep everything moving, but it was a nightmare. Suddenly, the captain of the KLM flight, Jacob Veldhuizen van Zanten, received clearance from the control tower to take off. He gunned the engines and began barreling down the runway at full speed, thinking the Pan Am flight was already airborne. However, the Pan Am flight was still taxiing down the runway, and the tower had not yet given clearance for it to take off. As the KLM flight raced down the runway, the pilots of the Pan Am flight spotted it and tried to maneuver it out of the way. It was too late. The KLM flight collided with the Pan Am flight, causing a massive explosion. The KLM flight erupted into flames and the Pan Am flight was torn apart by the impact, killing all 583 people on board the two planes. The investigation later revealed that a miscommunication between the air traffic control tower and the pilots of the KLM flight led to a fatal collision. Despite the foggy weather, the captain of the KLM flight decided to take off without receiving clearance from the tower. The Tenerife Airport disaster forever changed the way the aviation industry operates, leading to stricter protocols and guidelines for air traffic control and pilots. But the memories of that tragic day remain, haunting the aviation community to this day. In the end, 583 lives were lost and the tragedy will never be forgotten. Here's a disturbing fact about plane crashes is that most of them are caused by human error, such as pilot error, maintenance errors, or air traffic control mistakes, rather than mechanical failure. In fact, according to Aviation Safety Network, over 90% of accidents are caused by human factors, highlighting the importance of ongoing training and safety protocols for pilots, maintenance crews, and air traffic controllers. This underscores the need for continual vigilance and improvement in the aviation industry to prevent tragedies like plane crashes from occurring. Number 2. Asiana Flight 214. The skies above us hold mysteries and dangers that we may never fully comprehend. Two incidents, Asiana Flight 214 and the mid-air collision of a Learjet and Eurofighter Typhoons, stand as chilling reminders of the unpredictable nature of air travel. In July of 2013, the uneventful journey of South Korean airliner was abruptly interrupted by a misjudged approach that caused the plane to clip a seawall before crashing and bursting into flames. The horrific incident resulted in 3 fatalities and almost 200 injuries. An investigation by the National Transportation Safety Board later revealed that the root cause of the tragedy was pilot fatigue, a stark reminder of the risks associated with the over-reliance on automation and a lack of flying currency. Just over a year later, a training exercise over Western Germany ended in disaster. A Learjet and Eurofighter Typhoons were performing a complex banking maneuver when the Learjet suddenly collided with the Typhoon, sending the plane into a tailspin. While the Typhoon sustained damage, it was able to land safely, but the same could not be said for the Learjet, which exploded mid-air, leaving one body discovered amongst the wreckage, while the other person on board was still unaccounted for. Both incidents are a stark reminder of the unpredictable nature of air travel and how a single misstep can lead to tragedy. Number 3. France Flight 447. On a dark and stormy night, Air France Flight 447 prepared to take off from Rio de Janeiro, Brazil, on its journey to Paris, France. With 228 passengers on board, The plane climbed into the sky, heading towards its destination. But as it flew over the Atlantic Ocean, something went terribly wrong. The pitot tubes, which measured the plane's airspeed, froze over in the frigid temperatures. This caused the autopilot to disconnect, and the aircraft switched to alternate law, leaving it vulnerable to stall without the protection of control inputs. The pilot struggled to diagnose the problem and began making manual adjustments to the plane's pitch, causing it to climb to an altitude of 38,000 feet. But the plane was moving too slowly and eventually stalled, beginning a freefall into the ocean. As the passengers and crew screamed in terror, the plane plunged into the dark waters below. For years, the wreckage was lost and the families of the victims were left with no answers. It wasn't until 2011 that the black boxes from the crash were discovered on the ocean floor, finally revealing the cause of the tragedy. The world was stunned to learn that such a modern and advanced aircraft could be brought down by something so seemingly simple as frozen pitot tubes. But even with the official cause identified, the mystery of what went wrong that night still lingers. Was there something else at play? A darker force that led to the freezing of the tubes, or perhaps something more sinister lurking in the shadows, waiting to take down unsuspecting planes? The tragic story of the Air France Flight 447 is a reminder of the fragility of human life and the mysterious forces that can sometimes bring us down, even when we least expect it. Number 4. Boeing 737 crash in Russia Flight U-9-363. The skies over Kazan were dark and ominous on that fateful day. The Tatarstan Airlines Boeing 737 had been cruising along smoothly, but as it descended to make its third and final landing attempt, something went terribly wrong. The pilot, a young and inexperienced man, had already failed 2 previous attempts at landing. He was determined to get it right this time, but fate had other plans. A sudden technical fault caused the plane to lose control, and the pilot's situational awareness was completely thrown off. As he desperately tried to regain control, the passengers on board felt a sense of unease wash over them. The plane began to shake and rattle, and the sound of metal grinding against metal filled the air. The passengers watched in horror as the plane plummeted towards the ground. The plane crashed into the ground with a deafening roar, sending a plume of smoke and debris into the air. Emergency crews rushed to the scene, but there was little they could do. All 52 people on board had perished into the crash. The investigation into the accident revealed that the technical fault had been the primary cause of the crash, but there were still many unanswered questions. Even to this day, the cause of the crash remains shrouded in mystery. Families of the victims continue to grieve their loss, haunted by the knowledge that their loved ones met such a tragic end. Let us remember those who have lost their lives in these accidents and honor the bravery and dedication of the first responders, investigators, and industry experts who work tirelessly to make air travel safer for all. I hope this compilation didn't disturb you in any way. This video was made just for educational purposes, and I'd love to know your thoughts in the comment section below. We have similar content on our channel, so make sure to check it out and give us a sub if you feel like we did a good job. Have a good day.